win column. He's Doug Upstone. I'm Scott Spreitzer. We are DocSports.com. And the Big 12, well, it's got its share of marquee matchups this particular weekend. The game we're going to talk about right now features Baylor on the road taking on the Kansas Jayhawks. And Doug, I'll say this, Baylor, you could tell they had 6 postponed games in a row when they came back to action against Iowa State. There's a lot of ring rust on that team they had to shake off. They did end up winning that basketball game after trailing for a good chunk of it. I power rate this 18-0 Baylor Bears squad 12 points better than Kansas on a neutral floor, but I'm not sure if I factored enough into all those games missed. They didn't play for a few weeks there, but they did have a chance again to shake off that rust. This one, though, is at Fog Allen. It's not on a neutral floor. Your take on the Bears and the Jayhawks?
Yeah, as we've seen this entire month, Scott, every team that has been on hiatus of, let's just say, at least 10 days, they've struggled at least for one game, in some cases two, coming back. So that adds a little bit of doubt here in terms of what exactly to think about Baylor. Now, conversely, Kansas has been much sharper. They're 6-2 recently, and 6-1, I believe, against the spread. And they're playing more to their strengths. Okay, they're not taking as many three-point shots. They're running the ball through David McCormick, their center, more, and he's been a real force, getting more action, not only offensively, but that has also improved his defense. So I think that's something you have to consider. Still, though, I'm looking at this game. I look at the depth of Baylor. I know it's on the road, and I know it's going to be a really hard game for them to win. And if they play similar to how they did just against Iowa State, they will lose. But I think with their depth, I don't think the entire team is going to be emotionally flat. I think they got too much going on here, and I think they'll find a way, to win at Kansas and cover the spread this week.
I'm looking at Kansas, and they've shown signs of getting it together, right? I mean, they were not playing well earlier in the season. And it's funny because I'm watching that game against Texas, and they were having their way. They were up, I think, by 10 or 11 points at one point of the second half. And I'm getting text from my inner circle of betting friends, about 5 or 6 guys were going back and forth. And a couple of them are saying, man, is it time we plunked down a few bucks on Kansas at 40-1 for the big dance, which is about where they are in most books, around 35 to 40-1, because of the way they had played of late. And then, of course, that's the old jinx right in the back with that knife, and Kansas falls apart, and Texas finds a way to hang on and win in overtime, coming all the way back. Here's the thing about this Kansas team. They look like they were so close to returning to the top level of basketball, and maybe they are. I'm a little concerned that they made 10 of 19 three-pointers, and Baylor committed 18 turnovers, yet Baylor still won that earlier matchup by 8 points. Kansas did basically almost everything right in that game that they haven't done this season, especially that three-point deep perimeter shooting, and yet still couldn't make this any closer than an 8-point final score. Listen, here's the battle in this one. I think it's going to be a situation for Baylor if they've shaken off the rust. I'm going to play this in game, all right? So this is going to be one of those things where I lean towards the Baylor Bears in this game as far as a full game is concerned. But I'm telling people right now, watch Baylor early on. I think there's a chance this could be close. They could be trailing maybe the first 10 minutes of the first half as they continue to get their legs back under them after missing all that time. And then I think they're going to find a way to pull away in the second half. So if I find the right spots, this is, to me, a prime targeted game for in-game betting. Want to tell everybody that they can pick up that free $60 account. You see it on your screen. Click on that link below the video. Get yourself set up for a free $60 account if you're not yet a member at DocSports.com. The cool thing, you can use that on any of our daily picks, whether it's Doug's, whether it's mine, anybody else on the roster over at DocSports.com. Real quick, Doug, what are the plans this week, and what are folks going to find on Doug Upstone's homepage at DocSports.com?
Yeah, you mentioned, Scott, I had a nice run, and to be perfectly honest, and this is what this is all about, stumbled the last couple of days a little bit, but this weekend, there's some great things going on, every day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, deep cards, lots of plays. And so I'm ready to go with a 7-unit play for sure on Saturday. And I might come back with a 6-unit play on Sunday, just depending how actually a couple of the games, how they might turn out going into that. So I'm looking forward to a big weekend. What about you, Scott?
Yeah, I got a 7-star going this weekend. Last night that we were in action before we doing these videos, I cashed a 6-star at Abilene Christian. Let me just say, phew, 11-0 run to close the game and get the cover. That's all that matters. 86-72 final score. So they got it done as a 6-star. We've had a great season. We're up around 4,800 with our college basketball sides going way back to the opening days of the season. So that'll be what's going for me this weekend. And don't forget, everybody, NASCAR, third race of the season. And we're just kicking butt. 50-27 NASCAR run at DocSports.com. Of course, the race goes on Sunday this week. He's Doug Upstone. I'm Scott Spreitzer. Let's put him in the win column. We are DocSports.com.